Oh, wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I am your host, Joseph, and it is here on this very podcast where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. So, with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co host whoever is and whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It feels like it's been forever since we've done this show. I was actually thinking this morning, it was like, did Joe move on? Did he get a new co-host? Because I haven't heard from him in a while.
Dude.
Like, it feels like our last episode was weeks ago.
Right, because when did we record?
We recorded,
Thanksgiving episode?
I think we recorded a day earlier.
Yeah,
last
I
week.
think we recorded on Tuesday. We put it out on.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing when I was.
It was only a day earlier though, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me.
I was like, man, I'm like, will we still have the magic? Will
Yeah.
I be on my game? For those of you who don't know, okay, this week is a huge week for PlayStation. All of a sudden, we're
Absolutely.
celebrating the 25 years of PlayStation, our favorite memories. We're going to talk about Persona 5 getting release date. We're going to talk about no more PlayStation handhelds. Rip Vita, it's finally happened. But before we do, each and every week, we begin the show with what have you been playing. And before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping. You're going to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm just getting over a cold. So on Thanksgiving Day, I had the worst cold ever. And I battled it out for a good 4 days. I'm still getting over it. So I may cough a little bit here or there. My apologies. If it's gross, I'll really edit it out. But nonetheless, because I was sick, we didn't get to record some things for patrons. Please understand, we're going to be doing that ASAP. We just scheduled the Road to Greatness. We're going to be recording that on Friday. And then we're going to give you 2 episodes of Road to Greatness next week. And the Star Wars show, Docking Bay 44, that will be out on Friday. 4 whole episodes worth, just for patrons. Again, the $5 and above tier. And thank you for our highest grossing patrons. That is Daniel Welsh and the Winter Gamer. Thank you both so very much. And I forgot to mention, Todd Aksha is our newest patron as well.
Hey.
I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but he is. So thank you. And again, if you want to be a patron, patreon.com/badbit. Okay, enough of that. Right? Let's get into the good stuff. Kyle,
Yeah.
what have you been playing?
So I Platinum Jedi, A Fallen Order, since we recorded last time. I really dove in hard after we finished our last episode. And within 2 days, I kind of blitzed through the story and got all the other trophies and stuff. It is a fun game. Yeah. Don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say. It's a fun game. I just did not feel...
What are you about to say?
I did not feel super attached to the story as I think most people did. I think from gameplay perspective wise, if it is on that difficult scale, we've talked about it already, but that part is fun when it's fun, minus the jumping and sliding bull crap. But there's just something about the story I wanted more from. It felt, and this is a controversial opinion, I said this to you before we started, I want Star Wars to stop leaning on older stuff, and I don't want to ruin it completely for those who have not played it, but I want a standalone story that stands on its own and doesn't rely so much on other canonical things to kind of bolster thematic elements to
I feel you.
Game.
I mean, Star Wars though is so much about, it is so much like Star Wars is about Darth Vader, right? It's about Anakin and the Skywalker lineage.
Yeah.
And so to have certain things or like homages to or Easter eggs to characters, I don't mind.
Easter eggs are fine.
Yeah.
Easter eggs are fine.
But
when it becomes like a plot point.
But like when it comes to the end, I understand if you're not in the know of the Star Wars universe and you think that ending didn't live up to or could have been better without certain elements. For me, if you're a big Star Wars fan, it makes a huge amount of sense. Okay. And so for me, a lot of Star Wars does lean on, bonus things or Easter eggs or individuals like the Emperor, right? You got to mention the Emperor if you're doing something that's prequel related. So for me, I didn't mind any of those elements, but I do understand what you get at, and I think it's what Star Wars Rebels does so well. And even
Which is I need to watch. I need to watch that.
so good.
Yeah.
Is that like the first season they deal with the first Inquisitor, then the second season introduces Vader for a little bit, just a little bit, but it's so well earned, and Darth Maul's arc is amazing. And then like I believe the third season's all about Admiral Thrawn, which is a huge character in Legacy. So for me, I'm on the mission to Platinum Jedi. I got all the bullshit out of the way. For me, the thing that I hated the most was the map.
Oh, 110%. It is a slog to go through and find out how to get to certain areas. And for me, it's how do I get back to my ship?
Yeah.
Like I go do this thing and then all right, I have to go through this entire section again.
At least give me like a waypoint of like, hey, I want to get to this section of the map. Can I have like a little arrow or something that tells me where to go? It doesn't make much sense. But
that is the one thing when I was going through trying to get all the other trophies and stuff, like it made it less fun. Just trying to plot my course. Like it should have been, or like even having you set a marker down, kind of what Death Stranding does, where and it show you like a line of where to go.
Exactly, that's what I was kind of thinking in my head. But yeah, no, I get it. For me, I tried to do the same thing. Again, I'm on the road. I had the idea of platinuming Death Stranding because I love that game so much.
Yeah.
Then I turned it on. I was like, no, this is a lot.
Yeah, it's exactly my feeling. I love that game.
Love it.
No need to go back to it.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like trying to platinum it again, I do actually kind of want to start it over again, though. I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kyle, you have 2 more games you wanted to just talk briefly about.
Yeah,
we're running
sure.
really, really late here on the.
Yeah, so Outer Worlds was a game that I started a while ago.
Yeah.
And that was my first game after Jedi that I went back to. And I just found myself being bored and not having fun.
How dare
And
you.
I don't know if that's because it's the whole silent protagonist, main character. Like, I feel like those talking scenes, there's so much of it. I want more interactivity, kind of like what Mass Effect does so well with Shepard.
Right.
Like, Shepard will actually say the lines back to the characters, and you can still pick what you say. I think that would have been so much more fun to me. And I was going around picking up everything, and there was no real consequences. Like, I didn't have to really worry about managing my inventory or...
Oh, but that's awesome.
But like, I pick up all these things, but then I never use them. Like, there was no need for me to use them. I just felt like I was just
Hoarding
going
stuff.
through the motions. I was just going through the motions.
Okay.
I felt like I wasn't reading the in-game lore or really reading everyone's responses. So I was like, I'm done. A beautiful game.
All right.
It's like, I love Parvati. Parvati is easily the highlight, and there's another character you unlock later, Nyoka, I believe is her name, and the Sam bot, which is really hilarious. He's like a janitor type automaton.
Okay.
And he's just like, I'm gonna clean this up. There's blood everywhere. Like, it's very funny.
Okay.
It's very funny. But other than that, like, I was just done.
All right. And what other game that you weren't jiving with? Was there another
Metro Exodus. I wanted to play some of these big games
that
I missed throughout the year. And another one where I wasn't having fun. The voice acting is not great.
Huh.
And the like people
What about the
talking
world?
over each other. World seems super cool.
Okay.
I'll give it that much. But it seems very, and this is probably in game design, it felt sluggish, and the character felt heavy and not really intuitive to kind of like move around, and I don't know. It didn't click with me. So another one where I'm kind of done with that one too.
Dang.
I know.
For me, like, I was sick, so like I just tried to platinum Jedi. Again, like I was in bed from like Thursday to Friday. Like, I was just every hour just trying to nap off this gosh dang disease. And I was like playing like Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm just like, I don't even really like this game that much. But it's the only thing in front of me. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even have the energy to sit up. But like, for me, yeah, Jedi, it's just the map, man. just not a fan of that map. But I want to go to, before we do the Game of the Year stuff, I do want to give Outer Wilds a go. So that's what I'm going to be getting into this week.
Outer Wilds or Outer Worlds?
Outer Wilds. Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, there's just so much talk about how that game was skipped out on, and it's not on our Game of the Year list either. Which, hey, fun fact, again, December 16th, our Game of the Year show. But before that, you can actually go vote for the Trophy Room Game of the Year show that we do each and every year down in the description below if you're into that sort of thing. We have so many votes so far. It's crazy. So,
and before that, you can join us next week for a watch along to the Game Awards.
Yes, and we got to work out the details on that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we're going to be streaming with our good friend Sean Capri. So
nice.
A preemptive twitch.tv/Sean Capri. Check us out there. Trophy Awards, Jesus. The Game Awards. So yeah, with that, Kyle, that's what we've been playing, or for me, lack thereof. Let's get into the goobers. Kyle, what's the first goober on the list?
This one comes from Joseph Yaden over at PS Lifestyle. Persona 5 Royal Western release date revealed. Multiple editions available to pre-order. Atlus has been counting down something Persona 5 Royal related recently, and now we finally know what the prolific developer/publisher has had up its sleeve. The game's Western release date was finally revealed as of March 31st. Back up, Kyle. Finally revealed as March 31st, 2020, along with a slew of special editions, all available for pre-order right now. A new release date reveal trailer and a handful of new screenshots were released as well, celebrating the game finally coming west. Persona 5 Royal is an enhanced edition of Persona 5, with added characters, confidants, quests, and general quality of life improvements. The game released in Japan on October 31st, 2019, 5 months ahead of the Western release. The launch edition, which will cost you $59.99, will come with a limited edition steelbook case and a dynamic PS4 theme code, and the Phantom Thieves edition, which is $89.99, is the official Joker mask, which comes with a stand, collector's box, art book, soundtrack, limited edition steelbook case, and a dynamic PS4 theme code.
Ooh, boy. That's a lot of stuff. A lot of nerds happy today, Kyle.
That steelbook is real pretty.
Yeah. Also, they did a lot of social media stuff. I like how I just insulted a fan base. Gang, don't worry. Don't give us a 1-star review yet. I am buying this game, but we'll get to it in a second. They did an awesome social media thing.
Absolutely.
Where, like a ton of billboards on random cities across the globe have the Thieves logo and stuff. Awesome reveal so far.
Yeah.
Kyle, what are your thoughts? Are you picking this game up day one?
Oh, my edition is already pre-ordered.
Yeah. I forgot. Did you play the first one?
Yeah, I played. I got up to the third palace, and then just life got in the way, and I stopped. And by the time I got the itch to go back, they announced that this edition was coming. So I held off for this specifically to go back and play from the beginning.
So this is a question for you, but also the audience. Please let us know. PS Trophy Room on Twitter or the Casa de Bad Bet Discord in the description. Here's the thing. I want to give Persona 5 a go.
You should.
It's a beautiful game. And before, again, I got it before... I got the steelbook to it, too. Like, it's beautiful. And I played, 1 or 2 hours of it. But, that was, back in the day where... I don't know why it just didn't grab me. I forget what was in the way, and I just never went back to it. And I bought it, again, digitally for, $10. And so I'm thinking about going back, but from what I'm aware of about the Royal Edition is that it's just a definitive edition. It's the same story, but there's something extra, like another semester, whatever that means to me. I don't know.
There's a brand new character.
Right.
It's
she's
basically
fine, by the way. She's very attractive.
There's from what people who are fan of Persona 4 Golden who tell me, Golden is the definitive version of Persona 4, and that's the version you should get and play. So I'm guessing this is the equivalent to Persona 4 Golden to Persona 5.
Okay. Yeah. I'm down to play this. Now, with that said, Kyle, what edition do you want to get? What's on your radar here?
Right now, I just pre-ordered the basic launch edition that just gets me the steelbook case, just because of all the stuff that's coming out in that window. And speaking of, Joe,
Ooh.
Famous Seamus asks, with Persona 5 Royal release date now revealed to be March 31st, 2020, adding to the large list of games coming out in March alongside Neo 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Doom Eternal, and Animal Crossing New Horizon, I have a question. Yeah. If you could only play one of these games, which one would it be?
I want to just first get Animal Crossing out of there. Okay? You know how I feel about... you know how I feel about the 1%. Okay? Tom Nook runs everything in that goddamn town, apparently. Never played an Animal Crossing game in my life.
I haven't either.
But
I have no interest in this one either.
He's literally the one-stop shop. Where's the check and balance there, dude?
Nook Phone, Nook Resorts, Nook Plane. Come on, Nook.
Sounds like either a fascist and or communistic society that I want no part of. So get that out of my fucking life. Also, like Nintendo fans lose their shit about this.
Yeah.
Like Animal Crossing is this weird thing. First, you had they're just weird people. Like hardcore Nintendo fans. Like they're talking about like Gooigi. They're like, oh, look at him making all this goo. Ugh, gooey. And I'm like, you're sick of the mind. Like, but you can't stop me. It makes so much goo. I'm like, stop it. Knock it off.
Oh, no.
Look at how he squats. And I'm like, stop it. And then, like, Animal Crossing. So get that out. Don't need it in my life. Only kidding. I'll probably buy it. I don't know. Doom Eternal. That's a game.
Yeah, it is.
That got delayed. In a very vicarious position. I love the first one. That's the thing that I'm stuck with. So like Doom is like I can't forego that. Final Fantasy VII, we have the Road to Greatness. That's your jam.
Yeah. So yeah, this question is a no-brainer. That is the game I would pick out of all these. It'd be that remake.
Yeah, so for me, as much as I respect Neo as a game series and Neo 2 looks promising, probably not going to be picking that one up. It is down to Final Fantasy VII, Doom Eternal, and Persona. And to me, I think Doom Eternal's in a category of its own because it's just such a different game that I can switch off playing. But Final Fantasy and Persona, both JRPGs, I don't know.
They're different kind of RPGs though.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? And this one is now much more, it's not even turn-based anymore.
Final Fantasy VII, it's a more of like an action RPG kind of Kingdom Hearts style.
You know what? I'm going to choose Final Fantasy VII, nothing against Persona, just for the simple fact that the fanfare around this game and the mystery around it of like, is this going to be a great yeah, I was gonna say spiritual successor, a good remake to this game or honorable remake. And as someone who's never played Final Fantasy VII, I think that would be my pick. But again, I'm probably buying Final Fantasy VII, probably buying Doom Eternal.
Let's be real. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 games out of that. I think I'm buying 3 of them.
Yeah. My wallet. Can we talk about 2020 for a second?
Let's not.
Okay.
I don't really want to.
Yeah.
I mean, we have all these games. We have a new console. We have packs.
But here's the thing too. Like I respect the hell out of a company that gives me a good limited edition. That's why for me, I'll be picking up the Phantom Thieves edition.
Yeah.
For just a couple bucks more, you get me that fancy mask. You know how many memes I can make out of that?
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, it's going to be a disturbing amount.
Every room you walk into, you'll never see me coming.
Exactly.
You just put the mask on, boom.
Yeah, you guys liked our Death Stranding Twitter video? Oh, you'll never see this one coming. Kyle, anything more on Persona? You want to get to my story? I put this
nothing
here.
else. I'm just happy that Persona is a thing.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, I just love the vibe Persona puts out, and I'm happy that it's back.
Yeah.
Adam Bankhurst.
This is a segment I'd like to call. Nah, never mind.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna try to do a voice. I was gonna try to do the Emperor voice, but then my throat was like, Joe, you will cough up along.
Well, you thinking about doing a voice makes you want to cough. Me just talking normally makes me cough, which makes me so mad.
You're right.
Adam Bankhurst over at IGN writes, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition and the Rise of Skywalker content announced. Star Wars Battlefront 2 will soon be getting Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker content and a new Celebration Edition that includes all past and upcoming free game updates and a ton of new customization options. Revealed by EA, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition will be released digitally on PS4, Xbox One, and PC for $39.99 US dollars on December 5th, 2019, which is today if you're listening to it today. Existing Battlefront 2 players can upgrade for a discounted price of $24.99, and this new Celebration Edition includes all of the following: the base game, including all past and upcoming free game updates as they release, more than 25 hero appearances, including 6 legendary appearances, plus 1 appearance each for Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren, inspired by the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, coming December 17th. More than 125 trooper and reinforcement appearances, 100 hero and trooper emotes and voice lines, and more than 70 hero and trooper victory poses. On December 17th, the Rise of Skywalker update will go live and brings with it the addition of the Infiltrator class, Sith Trooper of the First Order, a new aerial reinforcement called First Order Jet Trooper, and a new Gunner and Spy unit for the Resistance that are new alien species from the Rise of Skywalker. New hero appearances for Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren, inspired by Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, will also be included in the Celebration Edition, or can be purchased separately with credits of crystals. That's not all, as January will bring capital supremacy in the sequel era, or to the sequel era, and will task players with either defending or bringing down the MC-85 of the Resistance, or the Resurgent-class Star Destroyer for the First Order. These massive ships will be positioned above the new jungle planet and Jakku.
Jakku? Kyle, give a round of applause, because I saw Kyle was fighting a cough that whole entire
The whole
story.
time, and I'm so sorry.
No, listen. Don't even worry about it. This is my fault, because I wanted to put the story here. By giving, oftentimes we like to just take, dunks on EA, all the time. My brother plays Battlefront like crazy, and every couple of months he'll come up to me going, "Yo, did you see the new patch that they gave us Anakin? Oh, they give us this move set, or like they give me this map, these set of characters. There's commandos in the game now, and it's all for free." And I feel like this game, rightfully so, got a lot of trash because of its awful microtransactions.
Yeah,
and it never got the fair leg up for really turning the game around. And they really did. They did a fantastic job. For someone who actually plays it, again, my brother, he might be just a fraction of that audience, but is thoroughly enjoying his time. And when this news came out, the way I found it was my brother texted me it.
No, that's awesome.
He's not a gamer at all, but like this thing gets him jazzed, gets him excited. So for me, I don't think I'm going to be picking this up. But it's awesome to see that EA has not given up on it. It's awesome to see DICE isn't giving up on it. It's awesome to see more awesome Star Wars stuff in a game, man. It's really weird because we talked about, a few weeks back of like, well, it's weird that we only got Fallen Order game-wise to look up, to look forward to. And then, bam, Shadow Drop, $40. Do you think this is going to get people in the door?
It very well could. It very well could, and I think what it will make more people into it is that ridiculous price for all that content you get just for upgrading.
Yeah.
The $24.99 for anyone that has bought the game in the past and maybe have fallen off. Like that's a good upgrade price. You don't have to pay full price to get all this stuff or get everything individually. Like that's a good way to incentivize people to come back.
I think it's gonna get the Star Wars fans in for sure.
Oh. Especially with the new movie, like it's a no-brainer. Exactly.
So it's a good way of getting a couple extra bucks out there, getting some possibly good press and second breath of life into this game. So for me, it's cool. Probably not going to get it, but I respect them for not giving up on this game, but also not for getting anything fucked up. So
speaking of Star Wars, were we not getting that Lego Star Wars reimagining game this year, or is that next year?
I would like to say it's next year because you don't want anything maybe spoiled,
Because I thought, like, was it this E3 or last E3, they made a big deal, like they were changing the game on Lego games with this one.
Yeah, and that's probably, I would like to say we're going to probably see it early 2020. Someone let me know if I'm wrong here, but I don't think it's coming out this year at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's, at this point,
nothing on it.
We only got a few weeks left, so.
And I don't have my phone and or Google or the useless Siri to help me solve that one. But yeah, awesome. So with that, let's get to the next story on the list, sir.
Alex Savard over at Games Radar writes, "Here's your first look at Resident Evil 3, courtesy of its leaked PlayStation cover." Those much rumored reports of a Resident Evil 3 remake in the works at Capcom seem to finally been confirmed with hard evidence. Recent data mines of the PlayStation Network have discovered what appears to be official covers for the upcoming survival horror game. The covers reveal that Nemesis, the big bad from the original game of 1999, will be back in action as the remake's main antagonist, alongside lead characters Jill Valentine and Carlos Oliveira, looking ready for combat against the backdrop of Raccoon City. Reports of a Resident Evil 3 remake began swirling a few weeks ago, with rumors of 2020 release date, which would launch the game in the same year as upcoming asymmetric multiplayer spin-off Project Resistance. It's expected that the game will be officially announced at the upcoming Game Awards show next week, but perhaps this very compelling leak will force Capcom to reveal its hand a little earlier than expected.
I don't think so. But hey, listen.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 Remake, fantastic. I mean, it's in our Game of the Year list for a reason. It is definitely up there for me. And even just like this game, this leak has helped kind of reinvigorate that love, that feeling that I had so early on in this year of like how well polished and how respectful. Like, I'm a new fan to Resident Evil, but like seeing our good friend Joe after work just absolutely fall in love with this game after he's beaten, the original countless times, and seeing him fawn over this game is awesome to see. It is really amazing to see that this game is coming out so soon, right?
Yeah.
Now, question here, Kyle. I always forget things. You know me, I'm a forgetful bunch. Did you like Resident Evil Remake? Did you play it? I forget.
I didn't play it.
How dare you?
I watched a full playthrough of somebody playing it on YouTube, so I know every story beat. I've seen every inch of that game. Had a great time watching other people play it. I just don't think I'll actually play it myself. Yeah. And here's my story about Resident Evil 3. When I was younger, I had a family friend. Let me back up a little bit. My aunt and uncle lived in front of us. They used to have big summer parties every weekend or so, and we would walk over. The family friends come over, and there was one family friend who was, he's 5 years older than me. He had Resident Evil 3, and I had a PlayStation at my house. So he came over, and I watched him play that game. Scared me shitless, that game.
Really?
Oh my god. Nemesis is he always scared the crap out of me. So seeing that cover brought back that same feeling, and I'm actually super excited to actually play 3 more than I did 2, just because of that memory of me watching my family friend play that game. I want to actually play that one myself, because that is what I attach my memories of Resident Evil 2 is 3.
Those attachments are just pure dread and horror.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I love the design of Nemesis.
Now, I do just want a little self-correction. The Lego game is TBD.
It's still TBD.
It's still TBD. My thoughts, though, getting back to Resident Evil 3, honest to God, I know very little on Resident Evil, because as a kid, wasn't allowed to play those type of games. It was the devil. The thing that scared me about those games were the movies. Remember, God, and those movies, thank God they stopped making them like a few years back. But it's crazy to me that I was in my mid-20s, right, when the movies stopped, but like they started when I was like 6 or 7. Just going back. So they terrified me. Like, the dogs terrified me. So for me,
that laser hallway?
Yeah, that spooked me as a kid. I remember watching, I think I was like Conan or something, and they showed like a little trailer, and it spooked me. And
oh my god, the scene where the lasers just cube out the guy's eyeball.
Yeah,
just kind of
don't need that in my life.
Oh boy. But
apparently, I want to play it in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
So like that's the reason why I'm so scared of Resident Evil. But like I thought Nemesis was in 2. That's how little I know about Resident Evil. So I'm excited for this game, because it's kind of like why I'm so excited for, Final Fantasy VII, is experiencing something that both new and old players are experiencing, some for the first time and some maybe even for the first time with that rose petal glasses on. So for me, this is totally dope. This is now definitely on my most anticipated games list. Do you think, Kyle, before we move on here, do you think that Project Resistance is actually the multiplayer tie-in, or do you actually think Capcom's going to try to give us two separate games?
That would be a nice thought, but I think they're separate.
You think they just want to make as much money as humanly possible?
Absolutely.
See, 100%. I really hope they don't. The one thing that I noticed with Resident Evil games, I think there was like, they would pump them out almost yearly. I remember in my head
it seemed like it.
Yeah, when it came to like GameStop, I remember Resident Evil 6, I think, and Operation Raccoon City. Like they came out months, before or
and
after
if I'm
each
not
other.
mistaken, I think Operation Raccoon City is like the multiplayer, like what Project Resistance
exactly.
is.
That's what kind of I would hope that all the eggs are in the 3 basket, the remake basket, and that this multiplayer is just again a separate team, but still using that same engine type of deal. I would like that a whole lot more than just trying to shell out a few bucks.
For sure.
Yeah. So for me, I'm super pumped. I'm getting it. You're getting it. Let's talk about the next story on the list, shall we? Because it's a good one.
This is exciting. This is very exciting, especially because this is a PlayStation show. Yeah. From the one and only Jim Ryan, our new overlord, over at the PlayStation blog, writes, celebrating 25 years of play. On December 3rd, 1994, 25 years ago this week, the first PlayStation made its global debut in Japan. Starting from a humble beginning as an upstart within Sony, Ken Kutaragi and team delivered on a vision to elevate video games as a form of entertainment that everyone could enjoy, and to make a platform for game developers to express their creativity. The original PlayStation sold 100,000 units in Japan on its first day, and went on to become the first ever home console to surpass 100 million units sold globally. We struck a chord with the gaming community because PlayStation offered experiences beyond what anyone could ever imagine was possible with a home console. From the very start, we opened our arms to developers, providing them with the tools and technology to create beautiful, expansive worlds and to experience and to experiment with new ideas. That approach led to the diversity of games PlayStation is known for, a true hallmark for our brand across multiple generations of hardware platforms. Over the past 25 years, PlayStation has stood at the forefront of gaming, and I'm honored to have been a part of the team since the early days. As I was helping set up the business in Europe, I remember having to start from scratch with many things, from hiring employees to ordering furniture. Back then, we focused on catering to local markets to ensure that a gamer in Poland would feel a part of the broader PlayStation community just as much as someone in the UK or Japan or the US. Supported by passionate fans all around the world, our business has grown significantly and our focus on community is more important than ever. It's truly humbling to see fans who grew up on PlayStation passing down their love of gaming to their children who are now playing on PS4. On behalf of all of us at PlayStation, thank you for taking this journey with us. We can't wait to celebrate what comes next with you.
Awesome. It kind of came out of nowhere. I'm in the middle of my finals. I am not thinking about the original launch of the PlayStation. And so for me, I was just like, oh, this is so nice. And, the initial things that came afterwards were from Polygon, this awesome video of like several directors during that age. One of them that did Tekken, one of the vice principals. One of the vice presidents at Sony at the time, and they're all just gathered around talking about the launch and how making games was back then. And I found it so beautiful because you see the love that these developers had. You understand a little bit of the culture of that era and what it was like. They talk about PlayStation's deal with Nintendo, but not in like the romanticized way of like, and then PlayStation got together. They were like, no, like, yeah, after that deal, we started throwing around ideas of joining with Sega. And then like, when we were making the box, we didn't know how much RAM was actually going to be inside the box, this, that, and the other thing. And the struggles, the trials, the tribulations of making games on the console and how things have changed. And they, at the end, talk about streaming. And again, like Japanese developers, different mindset than maybe Western developers, but they were just like, who's gonna do it? Because they talked about how Ken Kutaragi predicted that Microsoft would join the gaming race. Very like just off the cuff. Like, yeah, he predicted it. And now seeing Google and they talk about Amazon joining the fray, they're like, who's gonna be the person that gets cloud gaming right? And then that's where kind of the video ends, that branch.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that the original PlayStation, which we look back at it now, we could run any of those games on a device that fits on the palm of our hand, right?
Yeah.
We're thinking about gaming without even hardware anymore. Kyle, I asked the community what some of their favorite memories were of the PlayStation brand. Because, again, I grew up with PlayStation. I think I was like 4 when it came out.
Yeah.
Right? 3 or 4.
I was, 94. I was 7.
I was
7.
Yeah, I was like 3. I was a little
Yeah.
baby.
I'm old.
I'm a little baby. You can fit me in the palm of your hand.
You are my baby Yoda.
Let me turn that dial. Hey, Kyle, can I do the accent?
No.
But no, it's really amazing to see. So we asked the audience what some of their favorite memories were before we divulge our favorite memories. Kyle, would you like to read them off?
Blaze Knight writes, my favorite PlayStation memory is playing hundreds of hours of Final Fantasy XI on PS2 with several people that I introduced to the game, specifically playing in parties of 6 people to level up or killing the gods in Sky with alliances of 18 or more people. Also, my son says it was saving up money to buy his own PS4 with Arkham Knight, Fallout 4, and Call of Duty Ghosts. That is awesome. I think the first time you buy a console with your own money is a feeling of so much pride in yourself.
Yeah. Kyle, what was the first system that you bought with your own money?
The first one that I bought with my own money? Oh boy. I think
I was
it was
thinking about this.
It wasn't. I specifically remember my parents buying me my PS3 for Christmas that year, just because I was a whiny high schooler, and that's really the only thing I wanted was PlayStation 3. I think it might have been.
Now, are we counting handhelds? That's the first.
Well,
question.
That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, I know I for sure bought a PSP on my own, but I don't know if I count that.
Yeah.
It might be I think I bought the Wii with my own money.
How about
first
this?
Console.
No allowance money, no milk money, because that's your parents giving you money.
Oh, I didn't have allowance money. Yeah. I worked for my money.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I started working as a 13-year-old on my 13th birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
man.
my goodness.
It's been a long time. So
Jesus. Well, look at me.
I think it was either it was either the Wii or PSP for sure.
Did I mention my dad's Tom Nook? Did I mention that? Oh man, eat the rich. For me, I was thinking back on it. There were always Christmas gifts. So I remember the fight at Toys R Us for N64. I remember the birthday gift that was the PS2. Me being unappreciated of it. Sorry, excuse me. I remember the Xbox. That was a weird one because my brother just came home with it. I didn't even know it existed. I remember the 360 because it's the most monumental one. My mom literally took me out of school for it. Dope.
Which is awesome.
I actually think, because like the PSP my mom got as well. It was an Easter gift. My mom said something racially insensitive, and that's why it's always going to be stuck in my head. Remember how you say, you know how I say, can I do the accent?
Yes.
Yeah, my mom did the accent.
No.
So, yeah, I remember the PSP. 360, again, countless ones were just red rings, and then, like birthday gift. Even, like, I think the Halo Reach console was out of a warranty, so I wouldn't consider that. So, like, going back, it's difficult. I actually think, for me, the first console that I bought without walking around money, with like my real, like I saved up for it, was the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I bought that at GameStop. You know, I say it all the time. Guy was selling it for weed, didn't have any wires with it, no controller, bought it anyway. And so I think technically that's the first console, but the first new console I bought with my own money is the PS4.
Yeah.
So I was like 18 with the PS3, so it makes sense.
I remember buying my PS4 for sure. I remember trading in my PS3 and a ton of PS3 games. I think I bought PS4. I think after all the trade-ins for like $60.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of games I traded in.
Dude, do you remember the Midnight too?
Oh, I worked it.
Ooh, that's.
I worked both the PS4 Midnight, the Call of Duty Midnight, and the Xbox One Midnight because they're all within 3 weeks of each other.
Okay, and that was in the height of like fuck Xbox, right? Those Midnights were so different, and it went to show
100% they were.
PS4s were packed, and I remember walking in because I wanted to make a little extra money, so I bought an Xbox One at launch.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it for cost. Because I couldn't make any. And it was like, it was sad. It was like, talk about the sad edition selling so well. The irony is like, those launches were so different. I remember like the camaraderie that came with that midnight launch as well. Like everybody, it felt like something was happening. You know?
At my GameStop, it was actually flipped. We had more for Xbox Ones than we did for the PS4 one. But, and this is not a knock against all Xbox gamers.
Sure.
This is just a knock for everyone in my town that came to that midnight.
New Yorkers.
Yeah, specifically snobby Long Island kids and their parents and the douchebags.
Sure.
The Xbox Midnight was filled with douchebags. It was awful. A lot of cutting in line, yelling and screaming at me because I wouldn't let people in. Because I don't know if your GameStop did this, but we had a line order. Yep. Like you have to stay in line, you get a ticket, and then you can go in and buy your system. Guys just walk over like, oh, I can go in and just pick it up. Like, no, you have to go wait.
I hate all these other people realize, like you're at a midnight and one asshole comes in 2 minutes before. He's like, I don't have it signed. I didn't pay for it. Can I just buy it right now?
Nope.
And then they wait there and they're like, they're confused why they didn't get the game. I'm like, because you're waiting in line like everybody else did. Oof, God.
Oh yeah, no. I specifically remember being so pissed off at that one.
Kyle,
and the PlayStation one, there was only a couple ones.
Happy memories. Anniversary. Yeah. Hypecaster writes it.
Absolutely. Favorite memory from Hypecaster. Metal Gear Solid, Psycho Mantis, mind reading, and torture scene was Kojima at the top of his game. Yeah. I think it elevated what gaming could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a great one. I remember, I think it comes in later at somebody else's memory, but that whole Psycho Mantis memory card thing, that threw me for
I remember watching my brother play that game, right? Yeah. Because Metal Gear, even to me now, it's like over my head. And just being amazed at the graphics. What I was seeing for the first time was blowing my mind. Yeah.
I think it was when Psycho Mantis read a game of mine from my memory card. I was like, how do you know? What? How do you know, Psycho Mantis?
You pulled a Batman in BBS. How do you know that name?
Exactly.
How do you know Crash Bandicoot?
Boba Hotep writes, my favorite PlayStation memory was the Christmas I got my PS1 in 1998. Yeah. During Christmas break that year, we got hit with a brutal snowstorm. It extended our Christmas break by 2 weeks. So I stayed in playing Parasite Eve, Mega Man Legends, and Final Fantasy Tactics. Good times. That is dope.
Are you Adam Watson living in Alaska at this time, Bobo?
Yeah, 2 weeks extension of... Damn, man. Whew. I wonder if you had to spend 2 weeks in the summer, though, to make up for it. That must have sucked.
I would hate that.
Nathan writes in, I have 2 big memories. I was an N64 kid, I assume, as I had a lineage of Nintendo consoles. However, RPGs never were really the N64's strong suit. I even fooled myself into thinking I could make do without a PS1 and bought Final Fantasy VII for PC. Still have my copy of it. I broke down and bought a PlayStation finally near the end of its life cycle and never looked back. I had a tremendous library of games to play and started with all of the fabled RPGs. First with my now favorite Final Fantasy IX. Hell yes, Nathan.
That's the one with Skrull or whatever?
With what?
Skrull, the one that you like?
Squall? That's 8. Sorry. How dare you? And 9 was Zidane, little monkey boy with a tail and dagger. And Vivi, my boy Vivi. I love 9. Second memory was when I moved out living with some friends. I had my PS2 in my room. One of my dumb roommates decided he wanted to play Final Fantasy X and accidentally saved over my 150-hour save file of it. How dare that friend?
How dare you?
He told me when I got home, and I flipped out. I never knew I could get that angry. Hell, I'm with you, Nathan.
How many fights? Okay, memory cards were never a big issue at my house. But I remember as a kid, we're going to talk Nintendo for a second. I saved over my brother's Pokemon Blue.
Oh, no.
And that is the argument that landed me a Game Boy Pocket with Pokemon Red. My mom was just like, we can't have this every week.
Yeah, oh, no. Yeah,
and she was weak, bad. So you know what? If she was a good parent, if my mom knew it had any fucking sense, she would just take it away from both of us. She rewarded bad behavior. This starts to make sense.
With real quick with like game saves and stuff, my sister is a heathen. She would go in as a kid and delete my saves from memory card just because she hates my guts. Wow. Also in college, yeah, it was bad. In college, the most famous one, I had Final Fantasy 12. I had 40 plus hours into it or whatever on my PS3, and my friend bought a import game of some anime, and he put it in, and it corrupted all of my save data, and I lost that 40-hour save. And to this day, I have yet to go back to play Final Fantasy 12 because I'm still so pissed. It's on my shelf. I want it from somewhere, and I want to get back into it, but I get like PTSD whenever I see it. Like, oh my god. And then Nathan has one more. Also, now that my kids are getting bigger, seeing them try PlayStation has been great. Walked up on my 4-year-old this year with a red controller in hand, and he looked at me and said, "I'm a big boy, and I play video games now." That's awesome. That's so adorable.
Oh, that's the power of PlayStation right there.
Absolutely,
dude. I can't wait till I raise a little Joey of my own. You know, and then he's just like, "Papa, I'm playing the best PlayStation game ever, Masters of Terrakasi."
I was waiting for the Bloodborne. I was waiting for it.
And I'm like, get the hell out of my house. Also, I don't have a kid. What are you doing here? But yeah, that, man, like when people talk about like online, like they talk about like, oh I'm watching Star Wars with my kid right now.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, like I'm watching like seeing or hearing Sean talk about like, oh, my kid loves Mario. Can't get enough of this dumb plumber. I'm just like, that's awesome. You know, you did parenting right. You know.
So my nieces, now that PlayStation has like the holiday, that console bundle commercial with Horizon and God of War and Last of Us, when Aloy pops up on the screen, my nieces, my girls, they're like, "Oh, that's Aloy! Uncle Kai, can we go play? I want to watch you play." Like, that makes me so happy because they watched me play that game and they love Aloy. It's so cool. It's so cool. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Yeah. Luke Lore writes, Christmas break, when I was in 8th grade, we were snowed in for days. Were you and Bobo in the same area? Day and night, I just played Metal Gear Solid, stunned by the Psycho Mantis sequence and storytelling. A few years later, the same happened with Metal Gear 2. Amazing system. Shout out to Colony Wars. Adrian Holmes, my favorite PlayStation memory is one of my very first run-ins with PlayStation. I was at an older cousin's house the first time I saw a PS1, and he had the demo disc with Parappa the Rapper. I was entranced. I must have played that demo dozens of times. Been a PlayStation fan ever since. And since it's on topic here, some of my favorite PlayStation memories are those demo discs.
Yeah.
When you did not have the money to go get a new game, just pop in those demo discs. I think I had what PlayStation magazine I subscribed to, but it came every month with a demo disc. I just took them.
When you're in like
like a CVS or something
or whatever, I'm just like, I guess that's stuff. But like as a kid, I was just like,
the demo discs are legit, and it's one thing that doesn't make much sense now.
Yeah.
But I miss demo discs.
Yeah.
I miss that so much.
Just for the nostalgia factor.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that when we talk about our favorite memories.
Yeah, for sure.
As well.
And then Famous Seamus writes in, I have 3 favorite memories of PlayStation. 1, watching my older brother beat Crash 2 in a single day. buying my limited edition Days of Play 2018 PS4. That's a beautiful.
That's
beautiful
the blue
console.
one, right?
That's the blue one with the gold inlay on top.
I'm gonna be real with you, Seamus. I thought that was ugly in promotions, and then I saw it
in person,
in person, and I was just like, I think I need to buy this.
Yeah, it's real pretty.
It's really a beautiful console. Yeah.
Yeah. And his third one is playing Persona 5 and learning the importance of helping others, how anyone can change the world if they stand up for what they believe in, and that eating a huge burger can somehow make you better at stuff for some reason.
All right, I'm going to let you know from experience, and trust me, look at me, I got a lot of it. That's not true, Seamus. Just got to let you in right now. Kyle, name me some memories, like just 3 maybe, but like we'll go back to back here.
Yeah. I'll start with everyone might remember this little shop where you would rent things called Blockbuster, right? And like I mentioned when I was super young,
that's the thing in the Captain Marvel movie, right?
Yes, yeah, it is. It was actually a real life thing. If you didn't know that,
crazy.
My family could not afford consoles until much later in my life, so Blockbuster would allow you to rent consoles.
Yeah.
So I remember renting a PlayStation 1, and with Brave Fencer Musashi, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and Crash. And I just remember playing Crash and Musashi to death. I think it was a 4-day rental period for the console. Did not come with a memory card. So I started from the beginning. I did not know. I was a dumb kid.
Yeah.
And why buy a memory card if I'm just renting whatever. Yeah. But like I just remember constantly replaying those games over and over again, and I couldn't get enough of it.
So I remember Blockbuster. We had something called West Coast Video here as well. And it would always be, it's just a slight detour. Remember like the room that's for, adults?
Yep.
I always wanted to go in there as a kid because I wasn't allowed to. And it was like this curtain and this red light. I was just like, that's a cool red light. I wonder what they're hiding there. Luckily, I never went in. But I would be a totally different person today.
This would not be a PlayStation throw at all.
I'd come out wide-eyed like I just saw
It'd be
God.
called the Red Room.
Exactly. But, like, for me, PlayStation 1, again, I never owned it. It was the grandparent system, like the thing that entices you to go over their house. I equate, I know this is going to sound like a trope to this fucking show, but the PS1, my first memory is a salami sandwich. By God, a salami sandwich on white bread with American cheese and mayo. That's it. Because when I was sick,
a Joe thing.
Because when I was sick, when I was a kid, I would say that I was sick all the time. Yeah. My mom had a job, and what I didn't realize was I wasn't sick. I was having panic attacks. And so I would say that I was sick because I was having a panic attack and then be perfectly fine the rest of the day. So, rewarding bad behavior, I'd go to my grandma's house because they had to watch me and stuff. And I remember playing Crash Bandicoot all the time, the demo discs that would litter the floor, eating salami sandwiches and just being totally happy. And like, this is my zen. This is my happy
I can just imagine you sitting there like this. Yeah. Salami sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew or Coke or something on the other end.
Yeah. No. It was Sunkiss. Remember, I don't have a grandma. I have an abuela. So like, she's getting shit from the bodega.
Yes.
So that's my memory of the PlayStation 1. What's another memory? Let's skip a generation. Let's go to PS2.
Yeah, PS2.
Or next generation.
I remember conning my parents into buying me GTA 3. I specifically remember that one. I get in the magazines reading all about this cool game, open worlds, whatever, and knowing full well the contents of this game, and just be like, oh, guys, I do my homework. I do my chores. I just really want this game.
Yeah.
And then when we go to check out, I bought that along with Final Fantasy X in the same day. And I remember going up to the counter, and the guy who's checking this out looks at my parents and goes, you sure you want to buy this for him?
And then as a kid, you're like, wait, let me explain.
Yeah. And then my mom just gives me a side eye. And she's like, he's a good boy. We'll it's fine.
Oh,
And
shit.
and then I remember they walk in while I'm playing, and I think I picked up a prostitute in the game or something. And I try to play it off like, oh, she just needed a ride, right? I'm running a taxi service.
Mom, I was just trying to get my rocks off. I remember as a kid trying.
Same
to play
thing with
GTA.
Vice City too.
Oh.
Same thing with Vice City too.
Here's the thing: go into Blockbuster, don't go into the Red Room. I pick up GTA, and I fought the cashier, going, "No, this is for Dan. This is for Dan. I'm picking it up for my brother." That was the whole thing, and my mom believed it. And I would sneak play the game, but like the first 20 minutes, because I didn't have a memory card. I don't think, at least, or maybe didn't get to a save point. So I would sneak it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my memory with the PS2.
Oh man, GTA is fantastic.
Let's skip to the PS3.
Oh, PS3. I mean, there's a reason why I love Resistance and Uncharted so much. Those were my first two PS3 games. That's what I got for Christmas that year was Resistance and Uncharted. The jump from PS2 to PS3, looking back, might not be as big of a jump, like the whole rose-colored glasses and stuff, but like blown away by how much better it looked, and these brand new worlds where I can like walk around the whole level and everything is not just cell shady and not popping through. You know what I mean? Like it was here's the moment where it clicked, right? Resistance, I don't remember any of these moments specifically, the first one at least, but having Nathan Drake walk into water and then come out of the water and his clothes are wet, I'm like, holy crap, this is game changing. I didn't know games could do that. Those games still hold a super special part in my gaming history, why I love them so much, specifically the end of Uncharted, where I thought it was just like a treasure hunting game, and then those freaking alien zombie
things,
four-legged things come out. It's like, whoa, this changed. I don't like scary games. What is happening?
For me, again, because I have such a short memory with PS3, because I hopped on at the tail end. I'm not going to retell the same story over and over again, but it's definitely Uncharted 2. I remember having a blast playing Uncharted 2 while everybody was bitching about the blackout. And the first opening scene blew my mind. I was like, video games can do this? Yeah. And then the train sequence where you go back to it today and you don't understand why it's so special, but like that never happened. And then playing Last of Us for the first time.
Oh man. Yeah.
First 20 minutes, we talked about it last week a little bit. Some of the most impactful just in media for me, just in general. Like you take
absolutely
books, TV, movies, and it's up there for me. Like that changed me, and I was just like, this is what I want from video games, and it's what PlayStation has provided ever since. Of like these moments that are just, they change the way I think about video games, and
100%.
It is so unique to see a company grow with us. Like you see,
they took games, just get the highest score you can, or beat all these levels to, let's tell a story that could be easily seen on the big screen. Like
we started from a Bandicoot, and then we got here,
right? Yeah,
like telling these stories about like a father and son, telling this story about female empowerment of where you belong in society, self-validation, it's amazing. And that's why I love PlayStation so much. As I'm getting older, I'm seeing this company grow with me. And though like I see Halo Reach got a remaster and all that jazz, and I love going back, I don't have that same connection that I once did with Xboxes. I feel like, just like when I was a dumb kid, that I kind of grew out of that experience, So that's our experiences with PlayStation. That's why we love them so very much. We got very long in the tooth there, but that was amazing.
No, I mean, 25 years, right? We got to talk about it all. Real quick, fun fact about Uncharted 2, which I learned through the retro replay of Uncharted 2 with Nolan North and Troy Baker. Nolan North worked on a movie set on Star Trek with J.J. Abrams, and J.J. told him the opening to Uncharted 2. This is in, I think, the first episode of their Uncharted 2 playthrough.
Yeah.
The opening of Uncharted 2 is the single best opening in any form of entertainment that J.J. Abrams has ever seen.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's insanely good. I remember playing that game at my aunt's house while I was house sitting.
Yeah.
Holds up still.
Holds up still. It changes things. It's also it's crazy to think like people like J.J. Abrams, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Movie like directors like play video games. Always blows my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe that's where he got all that inspiration for all that lens flare. Who knows? You know? All right, let's get to some sad news. Okay? Let's get to Kyle.
I'm gonna hold this and cradle it while I tell the story.
Sure.
Chris Priestman at IGN writes, PlayStation is no longer interested in making handheld consoles. I'm so sorry, Vita. Sony has confirmed that it doesn't consider itself to be in the business of making handheld gaming consoles anymore. That means we shouldn't expect a follow-up to the PSP or PlayStation Vita anytime soon, if ever. President and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Jim Ryan, recently spoke to Game Informer for a feature that looks back on the 25-year history of PlayStation consoles. As part of this, he remembered the PlayStation Vita and confirmed that there were no plans for any more PlayStation consoles like that in the future. PlayStation Vita was brilliant in many ways, and the actual gaming experience was great. But clearly, it's a business that we're no longer in now, Ryan said. I'm so sorry.
I know.
I'm going to put you down now, Vita.
Yeah. I think like Garrett Bland had a little bit of a rant on our post as well, but like rightfully so. It's like, you know, they should give it another go.
Absolutely.
I think the Vita's successor, this is Garrett, at least for what I gathered from it, was just like, it was Sony's fault. I mean, like, you take a look at
Absolutely
what the Vita is like, it is the stepping stone to what will then be the Nintendo Switch. When you look at the experiences we were getting on the Vita was so ahead of its time. But of course, we won't give them the pat on the back. Nintendo's the innovators. But like,
I would even go as far back as the Wii U.
Yeah, like it's just it's an amazing piece of tech, and although you know PSP never eclipsed or did what the PS1 did to the N64
or match Game Boy in terms of handheld.
Exactly. It's still an impressive feat that they were able to cement themselves for as long as they did in a marketplace that was so heavily dominated by Nintendo. And so like for me, walking out of this, real quick story is that, well, I think the reason why they don't want to do another portable is because A, they've hit it out of the park with home consoles. You're seeing things like Stadia. We're seeing things like xCloud. We can see that these experiences are starting to get brought to the mobile space. But also, when we talk about a dedicated piece of hardware and competing against Nintendo, where the Switch is selling like gangbusters, it had the best Black Friday ever, right? Best day of sales ever.
Yeah.
Give it up to Nintendo here. They're the kings of this domain. It's kind of like in the Matrix where, like, you know, Neo entered that basement and then all of a sudden that weird guy, it was like in control of everything. Like, that's what I kind of think of it as. It's like Nintendo is just so dominant in this space. Why not try to go out there into the cloud gaming space and really try to make a mark in an area that has yet to be, you know, kind of tamed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not bummed by this. I think it's just something that's had to happen.
Yeah, and I think their focus right now is on PS5, is on the next version of PSVR. I truly believe, and this is not in the Vita fanboy in me saying, I think it would be a no-brainer for them to go back to it in the future. Yeah. I just think it makes a lot of sense. Have PlayStation more on the go. Yeah. Have it be like this Vita, but like do PlayStation Now running through it. Have a dedicated like PlayStation Now device
what
on the go.
I think we will see is not a dedicated device.
Yeah.
But like what we're starting to see, I think like Razer and a few other people like Nyko do this. But don't be surprised we see a DualShock mobile controller.
Sure, yeah.
You know, whether it's maybe just a clip on the end of a DualShock to attach to a phone, just like Stadia, or it's just its own, you attach it to both ends of your phone, and bam, you have a DualShock on the go. You have that gaming experience. For me, that would be killer. That would
Yeah.
be super dope if you had like a detachable controller you just plug into your phone. What that looks like, who knows? Maybe it's like that
Yeah.
extra large, Joy-Cons that we see, or maybe it's just like a weird doohickey. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that's what I think we're going to actually see more than
For
a
sure.
dedicated device. Yeah. Kyle, let's get on to
Yeah.
some weirder news. Let's get weird. This is the last bit of
weird.
news as well.
Alex Savard over at Games Radar writes, Horizon Zero Dawn PC release hinted at by an insider who predicted the same thing for Death Stranding. A new rumor suggests that Horizon Zero Dawn, the critically acclaimed action RPG from Guerrilla Games, could be coming to PC as early as February 2020. The report comes from Russian YouTuber Anton Logvinov, who previously predicted Death Stranding's now confirmed PC release earlier in 2019, claiming in a new video that Horizon Zero Dawn will be available on PC on February next year. Jeez, I couldn't fight through it that time. Sorry. And the announcement will be soon. However, while Death Stranding represented a partnership between developer Kojima Productions and PlayStation, Guerrilla Games is an acquired first-party studio that Sony has complete ownership of, making a potential PC port of Horizon far less plausible than that of Kojima's latest work, which hits PC early next year. That said, that latter game runs on Guerrilla's Decima engine, the same one that powers Horizon Zero Dawn, suggesting the title's backend code is indeed already optimized for PC given Death Stranding's upcoming transition. And while Sony has never expressed any major interest in bringing PlayStation games to PC, Microsoft's continued push for platform accessibility could be encouraging the company to rethink its strategy as part of its next generation plans.
Okay, here's what I think about this. I've seen a lot of PlayStation gamers getting all up in a tizzy about this news.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
If this is true, right?
Sure.
I don't know Anton Lognevov or whatever. I don't know him. Okay. It's weird I could do that accent, Kyle. But for me, this is awesome news. More gamers get to play more games.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it in my car. If this is true, right? This just allows, like, if this is true, let's take just a step back here for a second. Then, potentially what? PlayStation loses some sales from people that are also on PC, but how many more people would you be getting if you allowed, money-wise, if you allowed just all your IP on PC? You know what I mean? Because when you take a look at the PC marketplace, it's just steadily growing.
Yeah.
There isn't, it's not like it's plateauing or it's shrinking. PC gamer base is a growing thing. I see a lot of people talking about building a rig that I would have never imagined in my life. So for me, I think exclusives, that idea, if this is true, but I do think in the more grander scheme of things, that exclusive word is going to look a lot different into the next generation. That's why I'm so excited about next gen, because it's, where this generation was more of the same, this next generation looks like it could go off in any direction it wanted to, and that's what really gets me excited. So Kyle, what do you think about all this PC talk?
I share your thoughts on this, and I wasn't always on this side. I was very much, when I was a few years younger, being like, no, PlayStation games on PlayStation, that's the only way it could be.
Yeah.
I'll be upset if I see it anywhere else type thing. But then that was real stupid of Pascal, right?
Right.
That's stupid. That's annoying. Like, I hate Pascal for that one. Just like you said, more people play the game. That's what we want. We want people to experience these worlds, these stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if this says, to me specifically, a PC release.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it might be on PS Now.
Okay.
So people can play it on PC type of on that service.
I mean, to me, like, a lot of this article, I will correct on some things. Because Kojima, though, is a second-party studio, PlayStation owns the IP. So if they want to make a sequel without Kojima, they can do it if they wanted to. If Kojima wanted to make a sequel, he would have to ask Sony. But other games like Journey, all the like Detroit Becoming Human, Heavy Rain, Quantic Dream, there you go. Those games, if I'm not mistaken, are owned by Sony. Those games were worked under partnership. So they needed permission to have those games on PC, and I think Sony allowed it to kind of see how those games would do. We also see games like Ready Set Heroes also on PC as well. I think it's the Epic Game Store. So I think you're seeing Sony test the waters about how these games are going to perform before they jump the gun and they go all in on it. But
absolutely,
to me, I would like this to be true, so that people that never wanted to buy a PlayStation but wanted to play Horizon has the chance. And again, it changes the way we think about what exclusives are and what they do and what purpose they serve. That intrigues me more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Kyle, listen, I can't do any voices today. I'm sorry. The one guy that wrote that mean review hurt my feelings. Very excited, very excited. I love you. Don't worry about it. So each and every week, I usually ask, Kyle, are you holding on to something?
Of course
I'm assuming you are. The Vita?
I'm
you're holding on to the
it.
Vita. It might not save
my
your
life
life.
vest.
It is not going to work. I would not recommend that even as a toaster, let alone something to save your life. Anyway, prepare the drop. Each and every week, PlayStation drops the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation onto the PlayStation storefront. The only problem is that there are way too many games to name. So, Kyle and I each choose a game of our choosing to give a little shout out towards. Now, because my eyesight is very poor, and I did a very lazy job of just copy and pasting Rise a Simple Story, and because you and I are coughing up lungs here and there, mine is Arise, A Simple Story. We saw this at the Last of Us State of Play.
State of Play, yeah.
This was a game that I've always wanted. We talked about, like, the game I would make is, you're a Viking, you have passed on, and it is your journey to the afterlife, and you're reliving important moments of your life. It's really freaking beautiful, and I need this game, like, immediately.
Yeah.
So
it looks gorgeous. We both said that at the State of Play. Like, that was one of the standouts for sure.
Yeah, look gorgeous. Beautiful.
My game this week is none other, and this is a long time coming since it was announced earlier this year, Star Ocean First Departure R.
Arr.
I don't know why I went pirate on that one.
Don't know why.
I also don't know why I'm coughing so much. This sucks.
No, listen, you're doing all the heavy lifting.
But here's the thing, though, Joe.
Read every once in a while.
At the beginning of the show, you're like, "Hey guys, I'm feeling sick. I'm gonna cough." And who's coughing more? It's me, who should be over this by now. But Star Ocean First Departure R, the plot on PlayStation Blog writes, Space State 346. Our tale begins on the primitive planet of Roak, where Roddick lives in the peaceful and uneventful town of Kratos. A member of the village's local defense force learns of a mysterious disease in the neighboring town. Those infected turn to stone and continue to live on in a petrified state. Thus, the story of Star Ocean begins. Star Ocean is a very long-running RPG franchise. The reason why I'm telling you, if you're an RPG fan, you need to buy this game for the sole reason that I get the second story available so I can play it. The second story, the second game in the franchise, is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Ooh. And there was a remaster on the PSP. This remaster is actually available in Japan on PS4, but not available here in the States. So and I need it. That. You need to go buy this game. Okay. The Star Ocean RPGs from back then are super, super fun. I've never played the first one. I started at 2 and went from there. So I'm super excited to get more Star Ocean, more old school Star Ocean in my life. I'm super pumped. It is preloading right now. Ooh. I will be able to play it in a couple hours.
Big shout outs to other games on the list, like Big Pharma, if you wanted to ever live your life of what it would be without a soul. Blair Witch, which came out on Game Pass a few months ago, but now it's on a platform people care about. And what else? There was another one.
Shout out to Earth Knight. I played at PSX a long time ago. This game confused me, Joe. I don't know about you. This game is called Cuisine Royale. I thought it was like a food
Battle Royale
take
game?
on Battle Royale. No. It's another, like, you have weapons and shoot people and stuff, but why
Shout out to
cuisine?
Hasu Miku VR.
Oh,
Because
no,
if you're the
Joe.
one person buying it, you know what you're doing. You know you're doing in that game. You sick, you sick, beautiful soul. You.
Also, the
Yeah.
game Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey from the creator of Assassin's Creed, that game is finally out.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Also, listen, if you're a Hasu Miku fan,
Oh no.
I'm just trolling you. I don't know what it is, but it looks
Right into
questionable.
Joe and tell him where he should start, because he's getting some itching. He's getting some itching to jump in. So tell him where to go.
Listen, I feel bad that you're reading so much, so I've brought my MacBook into play here. And, each and every week, you could write in your questions at the Trophy Room, at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Or you could join our beautiful Discord, the Casa de Bad Bit Discord. We ask, hey guys, we need your questions, and then you beautiful souls send us all your questions. Or, do it the old-fashioned way. You can send your mail to Andrew House, P.O. Box in the description. I go over to his house each and every week, and that dumb idiot buys it every single time I take that mail. I steal it, and then I read it here on the show. Simple as such. And this week, we got
Oh my
one
God,
piece
Joe,
of mail.
real quick.
Yeah.
My goal in our time doing the show, I want to run into Andrew House.
Yeah.
And I want to record a clip of him saying, "Joe, stop it," and then and then put it into whatever episode we record next.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Joe, I've caught you. Stop making holes in my kitchen floor. Stop telling my kids that they're dumb. Leave me alone.
My dream for a PlayStation show is to have Phil Spencer on the show, and just to interview him, like maybe we're passing by, and right as I'm about to pass the mic to him to introduce him, I'm gonna introduce him as, "Hi, this is Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, and our favorite intern at the Trophy Room, Phil Spencer." Just pass the mic.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Isn't that right, Phil?
He's there today.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I want to just yell out into that hallway. Nathan writes in, ask a question. As for a question, Andrew House is holding a gun. Oh, holy shit, things just got real. To your head as a repayment for robbing mail from his house over the years. He's making you pick the best game in the entire history of PlayStation, or he will murder you. Holy shit. Your family, oh crap, and friends. He's real angry.
What did you do, Joe?
Yeah. How do you pick the game, and why is it everyone's golf? Oh, man. Kyle, what's a game you really love?
Last of Us.
Yeah, we're killing Last of Us.
What?
Listen, I don't care about my family, but family also means my dog. I like my dog. Marty's dope. So, sorry, Last
No,
of Us.
I don't. I think you're misinterpreting his question. I think he's just asking, pick the best game in PlayStation history, or he'll kill the family. Not one or the other, Joe.
Well, then we have to kill The Last of Us, because it is the best game.
No, I don't think you're killing anything. I think you need to say a game, the best in PlayStation history, or if you don't say that, your family's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
So
not a Sophie's Choice.
Right. It's not like when I do to you every
No.
show. You're like, hey, it's Kyle. What are two things you love? I'm gonna kill one of them. You know?
Yeah, no.
Best game in the history of PlayStation. That is a loaded question. All right, everybody's gonna have something different. So, do you think it's The Last of Us? Best PlayStation?
I do. I really think Last of Us, it changed the game going to PS4, and you can tell all the PS4 franchises we're trying to get on that level as far as narrative.
Yeah. I think even David Jaffe was talking to Corey Barlog, because David Jaffe has a YouTube channel. He streams
Yeah, he does.
on occasion. And Corey Barlog called in, and they were just having a conversation. He was just like, paraphrasing, how does it feel to finally hit back at Naughty Dog? Finally have a game that's on their level. Mm-hmm. Does it feel good? Does it feel rewarding? You could hear the sense of they know that Naughty Dog is it is Sony's favorite child.
It is the S class
Yeah.
of gaming developers.
Yeah, I mean, just in general. So, for me, I would have to say it is The Last of Us. It is a game that really started this ball that was rolling. That is, listen, some PlayStation games are duds, but it was just like, you have a game like Last of Us, and it defined what the mainline Sony games are going to be like. Mm-hmm. These heavily narrative-driven games. And so, for me, I think it's The Last of Us. Even just sales-wise, the thing was a juggernaut.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. I definitely think The Last of Us is the greatest, taking my feelings out of it. But if bringing my feelings in, and it's still a fresh experience, it's definitely God of War. Game made me cry so many times. And I'm not even talking about like honest to God, not even talking about a little tear. Like, I was legit bawling at scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And just like the ending alone was just like something I never saw coming. And I was driving today, and I was thinking about a scene of God of War, and I was just like, man, I could have been better than my dad when I was younger. Man, he does so much for me. And then, like, I felt the tear, and I was like, oh, man, God, got to think about school, So.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. Kyle?
Joe?
It's been the trophy room this week, man.
Yeah.
Before we go, is there anything you'd like to pimp out for us?
As always, I'd like to plug myself, WhoDatNinja73 on Twitter and on PSN. I decided to do this really cool thing for the last month of the decade in December on my Twitter. Every day, I'm going to tweet out one of my favorite games of the last decade. So every day, so I'll have 31 games.
That's awesome.
Of what the games that I love from the past decade.
Yeah.
So go check it out there. My show, all about the Kind of Funny community, is Best Friends Talk Funny at BFS Talk Funny on Twitter. If you've seen me tweet recently, my last episode, I'm having issues with it, and I'm going to fix it. It's taking me way too long. It's super frustrating. So I apologize to you, Joe Wilson, Mr. Afro Cyborg. He is my guest. You will hear it for sure on Monday. I'm going to make it a point to fix it and get it out. And yeah, I'm super excited for next week for the Game Awards. I'm so excited.
Goodness. Right. Yeah. Again, I don't know if the plans are set in stone, but you could catch us at twitch.tv/Sean Capri, where it'll be me, Kyle, Sean Capri, Ryan Turford, maybe Bobby Pauls if he wants to stay up and grace us with his goddamn presence. He's fucking deep this guy.
The video game families are coming together?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's all the Dons.
It's like why am I blanking on The Office? The four families. Yeah. We're getting the families together?
Well, no, yeah, Don Vance is coming.
Exactly.
I was just like, who's gonna get Antonio's gonna come in on a helicopter and try to mow us all down. I was Godfathering 3ing it, but yeah, you can check us there. Whenever the awards show starts, you can vote for the Trophy Room Awards. We have a loads of categories for you to vote on, so please go there. Link in the description. Our show. Oh, I coughed. No,
you're allowed to.
You know what? Everybody gets one, right? Everybody gets one.
Oh man,
the Trophy Room Awards will premiere on December 16th. I have a whole slew in mind of how that show's going to work. I'm really excited for it. And yeah, you can check the show out on iTunes, on Google Play, on SoundCloud, wherever there's an RSS feed service, you can find the show there. And even on youtube.com/badbitgames. Just look up Bad Bit Games. We'll be there each and every Thursday for your viewing pleasure. I want to thank all of our patrons. Again, Dan Welsh, the Winter Gamer. Thank you so much for supporting us at the highest level. And, our highest current levels. And seriously, when it comes to Patreon, thank you guys for supporting us the way you do. This month, man, did not expect the PC to break down on me like that. I did not expect to get so sick. And you guys are still there, understanding as always. Can't wait to get you that content out again, starting this Friday. Check it out. And so with all that said, with all that out of the way, check the show out. PS Trophy Room Twitter, Mr. Badbit Twitter. Everybody, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.
Happy 25th, PlayStation!